Good morning, class. The topic of today's session is dual converter. Now, what is dual converter? We will see. We have previously discussed our single phase and three phase full controlled converters. And if we recall, then in case of full control converters, the current was unidirectional. The direction of current cannot reverse because the thyristors can conduct only in one direction, but the average voltage across the load was both positive was possible as positive as well as negative. V naught voltage could be positive as well as negative. We have seen that if alpha was less than 90 degree, then V naught voltage was positive, and if alpha was greater than 90 degree, then V naught voltage was negative. In case of single phase, the average voltage was 2 Vm by pi into cos alpha. So when alpha is kept less than 90 degree, this voltage V naught will be positive, and if alpha is kept greater than 90 degree, this average voltage will be negative. And we have seen in three phase this was 3 VML by pi into cos alpha. Okay, so again for alpha less than 90 degree, the average voltage V naught was positive, and for alpha greater than 90 degree, this was negative. So with the help of one full controlled converter, the two quadrant operations were possible. The current was positive, I naught is positive, but the voltage was positive for alpha less than 90 degree and negative for alpha greater than 90 degree. We had converter 1 operation and converter 4 operation. But what happens is that in case of various applications, the reversal of current is also required. In case of motor, if we require change in direction of torque, then we will require the change in direction of current. Hence, we will be requiring in that cases quadrant 2 and quadrant 3 operation as well. So for quadrant 2 and quadrant 3 operation, again we can use a full control converter, either single phase or three phase, but we will have to connect it in opposite direction so that the current is negative. Okay, we only have to connect a second converter with opposite polarity. You can see in these figures, first figure is for single phase and the next figure is for three phase. In both cases, we had two converters. Converter 1 will have current I naught in positive direction. Here positive direction current is from upward side to downward side. I naught current will be positive, and V naught is both possible, positive as well as negative. But if we operate converter 2, then the direction of current due to converter 2 will be negative. That means from downward direction to upward direction. So when converter 1 is operated, we get positive current, and when converter 2 is operated, we get negative current. Okay. These converters can be operated one at a time, and these converters can be operated simultaneously as well. Okay. These are two modes of operation. We will come to that point later. For now, let us suppose that both converters are to be operated simultaneously. Whether it is single phase or three phase, both these converters are to be operated simultaneously. For this, we have to change our slide. This is an ideal dual converter. The direction of diode is representing the direction of current due to converters. The direction of current I0 due to converter 1 will be positive, and the direction of current due to converter 2 will be negative. Okay, and positive voltage and negative voltage both can be adjusted by variation of firing angle alpha. Firing angle for converter 1 is alpha 1 and firing angle for converter 2 is alpha 2. Okay, remember that converter 2 is connected in opposite direction. This was our waveform for average voltage in case of full control converter. The average voltage was 2 Vm by pi into cos alpha, or 3 VML by pi into cos alpha. We have written here, if we consider first converter, then its average voltage is V naught M cos alpha 1. V naught M is the maximum value, and V naught M will be 2 Vm by pi in case of single phase and 3 VML by pi in case of three phase. Okay, so this is the shape of V naught 1 voltage. The shape of V naught 2 voltage is similar, but since it is connected in opposite direction, it will be negative of V naught 1. V naught 2 is negative of V naught 1. Now, if both these converters are to be operated simultaneously, then the voltage, average voltage that is appearing due to converter 1 and what that is appearing due to converter 2 should be same in magnitude as well as polarity. We can see here in waveform that for load voltage V naught to be same from converter 1 as well as converter 2. If V naught 1 is positive, then V naught 2 must be negative. Or we can see here that if V naught 1 is equal to negative of V naught 2, then both these will match. So the condition is V naught 1 must be equal and opposite to V naught 2. This is the condition. V naught 1 should be equal and opposite to V naught 2. V naught 1 is V naught M cos alpha 1 and V naught 2 is V naught M cos alpha 2. V naught M is same in both the cases. We have assumed that the magnitude is same in both the cases. Now, if we simplify this, we will get alpha 1 plus alpha 2 is equal to 180 degrees. This is the condition required for both converters to operate parallelly. Alpha 1 and alpha 2 must have summation of 180 degrees. That means if converter 1 is operated at 60 degree, then converter 2 must operate at 120 degree. The voltage due to converter 1 will be positive and voltage due to converter 2 will be negative. This is negative. Remember, it is connected in opposite direction. So now the polarities will match in both the cases and magnitudes are also considered as equal. V naught M is considered to be same in both cases. Now, what is the issue? Issue is that we have here considered the average values. Okay, the average values are equal in polarity as well as magnitude. But even if the average values are equal, it is not necessary that the instantaneous values must also be equal. If converter 1 voltage is this and converter 2 voltage is this, both will have same average voltage, okay, but the instantaneous voltages, but the instantaneous voltages will differ. Okay. Whatever be the shape, if there are differences in instantaneous values, then also we can have identical average value. The problem is that the instantaneous voltages will differ across both converters V01 and V02, and due to these difference in voltages there will be a circulating current between these converters. Since the thyristors that are conducting in forward bias direction do not have high impedance, therefore the circulating currents can be dangerously high. Okay. So what to do about this? Now, to discuss further operation of dual converter, we have to discuss the mode of operations. One thing is to remember that the average voltage should be equal. So if both converters are to be operated simultaneously, then alpha 1 plus alpha 2 must be equal to 180 degrees, both in case of single phase as well as three phase. Let us switch over to slide 3. Now, first is the dual converter with circulating current. We have seen that if both converters are to be operated simultaneously, then there will be circulating current between these converters due to difference in instantaneous voltage. In order to limit this circulating current, we have a reactor connected. And the load is connected in midpoint of the reactor, so that the voltage due to the reactance in this side and the voltage due to reactance in this side cancels out each other and has no effect at the load side. The V0 voltage will not be affected by the potential difference across the reactor, because half of the reactor is connected on left side and half of the reactor is connected on right side. Okay, so this reactor will limit the change in current, or it will limit the circulating current that can flow through the thyristors. But remember, the currents are limited, it are not eliminated. The current will still flow, but it will be limited, it will not be uncontrolled. Okay, so where we require circulating current type? Now let us say we are initially requiring the current to be positive. I0 is required to be positive. Now after certain time, let us say time t1, the requirement of current I0 becomes negative with same voltage. Voltage is unchanged. So what we will have to do is that we will have to switch over from converter 1 to converter 2. Okay, since converter 2 was already conducting in our circuit, we will just switch over from converter 1 to converter 2. There will not be any commutation gap. Okay, this switching will be instantaneous because both are in operation. The switching will be instantaneous. But if we use non-circulating type, then in case of non-circulating type, what we do is that there is no reactor connected in between. That means both these converters cannot operate simultaneously. If you operate these converters simultaneously, then there will be enormous circulating current which can damage the SCRs. So here what we will do is that initially if I0 current is positive and later on at a certain time t1 we require current to get negative, then Firstly, we will have to commutate these converters, these SCRs in converter 1. Once these SCRs gets commutated, then we will trigger our SCRs in converter 2. Remember that both converters should not conduct parallelly. So unless the first converter commutates, the second converter cannot be triggered. So there is a gap required in between. Unless first converter gets commutated, second converter cannot be triggered. So this will be resulting in sluggish response. It will be safe, there will be no circulating current, but the response will be sluggish. We will have to wait for a certain time period so that one converter gets commutated before the second converter is triggered. Okay, this was not the problem in circulating current type because both converters can be triggered simultaneously. Only the requirement is that alpha 1 and alpha 2 should have sum of 180 degrees so that at least the average voltages are maintained equal at both the ends. So here in this case what we will do is that just before time instant t1, till time instant t1 we were requiring I0 current. So just before time instant t1 we will trigger our converter 2 and we will commutate our converter 1. So before converter 1 it gets commutated, the converter 2 is already in conduction state. Okay, there will be no problem of short circuiting because we have connected a reactor in between. This is the difference between the two modes of operation. One is called as circulating current type and the other one is called as non-circulating current type. The circulating current type has certain disadvantages. First disadvantage is that a reactor was required to limit the circulating current. In case of power circuit, the reactor becomes quite heavy and bulky. Okay, it is a matter of concern. And second point is that because of circulating current, there will be losses in our circuit and hence the efficiency gets reduced. And the third point is that since the converters will have to carry the load current as well as circulating current. Remember that the circulating currents are not eliminated, it is only limited. Since the SCRs have to carry both the load current I0 as well as circulating current, the rating of SCRs will be required higher. We will require higher rating SCRs in this case. Even because of these disadvantages, in most cases we prefer this circulating current type if the response required is fast. Okay, if we require instantaneous switching from converter 1 to converter 2 so that there is change in load current, then we will prefer dual converter with circulating current even if it has following disadvantages. Okay. In case the change in current required is not instantaneous, then we will no doubt prefer dual converter where one by one operation is conducted. There is no circulating current. When converter 1 gets commutated, then converter 2 is triggered and vice versa. So this was our session of dual converter. Thank you.